Kol, Halayim La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders that prophesied in Rue World for the hopeful 144 and the 1/3 of Yasharallah, who this world refers to as Israel, starting at the house of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, Akim, who teach and learn in sincerity. Shalom to the Akwith, who learn in sincerity. It's your brother, Kanai. And this should be titled, Your Rights, Psst, You're Right. You're right. You get it? The rights, the supposedly Constitution, none of that exists. Okay? We're in, you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, Jacob, Yasharallah, he Prince of Power, we're in captivity. This is our last captivity, promised by Yahweh Bashmiah Shai. Okay? So we ought to be thankful. All right? But in the meantime, your rights, you have none. Okay? I'm going to start this off with a couple diss tracks from the scriptures, okay? Because I hate these motherfuckers. Meaning his people. Shit, all the other nations, okay? This is Malachi, chapter 1, verse 1. The burden of the word of Yahweh Bashmiah Shai to Yasharallah by Malachi. I have loved you, saith Yahweh Bashmiah Shai. Yet ye say, we say, who? You so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics. Wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau? Who is Esau? The self-proclaimed white man, okay? The red man spoken of from Genesis 25 and throughout the scriptures, okay? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, twin brother, okay? Saith Yahweh Bashmiah Shai, yet I love Jacob. He loves Jacob, okay? And I hated Esau. So you clearly see what that says. He hates Esau. Yahweh Bashmiah Shai, the creator of this earth. That rules out your John 3:16 right then. All right? The world. Yes, he loves the world of Yasharallah, okay? The cosmos. All right? He hates Esau's world, his people. All right? And I hated Esau, and I laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness, okay? Whereas Edom, Esau, saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. And that took place. That's why they forced that Alexander the Greek vibe down your throat, where they call him Alexander the Great, and they act like all of society came from Greece, Rome, you know, because they came back into the rulership, and we currently live in that same kingdom. This is the end of that kingdom, okay? Where if Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh Bashmiah Shai of hosts. That host goes into armies, okay? They shall build. And let's get that real quick. Salakia of host, okay? And that is Taparia. I want to say, no, that's Ba. Tazaba.
Strong's H, 6635. Sava.
That's which goes forth. Army, war, warfare, host. Army, host. Once again. So what this is saying right here, number 4, Malachi 1 and 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, which they did. Okay, once again, starting with the Maccabees, Alexander the Greek. Okay, and that rulership is still current, present today. Okay, spiritual Babylon, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, United States of America. All right, the eagle. All right, the same government portraying the same government as Rome. Okay. Thus saith Yahweh Bashim Shah of hosts. What did we say those hosts is? Army. Why does Yahweh Shah need an army if he's coming to forgive and love everybody? They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, which we are doing. Who is they? The prophets, okay? And the people against whom Yahweh Bashim Shah have indignation forever. Indignation, righteous anger, okay? Forever, thus saith the Lord. And we can get that word too. This is H 2194. And that would be Zatam. No, that's the I. Zaim. Salakia.
Strong's H2194. Za'am.
Okay, and the middle of that, that's an I, so Zaim. Okay? Angerly. Well, you see the word anger there. That's what I was looking for. Show anger, okay? Forever. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua promise. Now I got one more. Psalms 139. Okay. Psalms 139 and 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David, King David. O Lord, thou hast searched me and know me. Okay? This is King David's prayer to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. I'm going to skip down to 19. Surely thou wilt slay the wicked. And we know who the wicked is. Okay? O Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, depart from me, therefore, ye bloody man. Now, who was the sword given to? Once again, Esau, Edom. Okay? Genesis 27. Starting, you can go around 34 or 32 and go and read it down. All right? And you see what he intends to do with that sword. For they speak against thee wickedly, and thy enemies take thy name in vain, don't they? They run amok of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. They stolen our identity. They're the bastards that dwell in our land. Okay, that's one of their tribes, because they have tribes just like we have the 12 tribes. Okay, Amalek I'm referring to. All right, they also took this land from my northern tribes. Okay, I'm a Gadite. All right. For they speak against thee wickedly, and thine enemies take thy name in vain. Do not I hate them, O Yahweh Bashim Yahushua? That hate thee, that hate thee, they don't have love for the Lord. They don't believe in the Lord. The Bible to them is a cover-up, okay? And in the people who claim to be us, do they use the Bible? No, they use the Talmud, the wicked Talmud, okay? Well, all kind of despicable, distasteful practices in that book, okay? That hate thee, and am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee? Once again, that rise up against his children, the apple of his eye. I hate them with a perfect hatred. I count them my enemies. So Yahweh Bashim Yahushua counts Edom as enemies, and so does King David. We still haven't heard Nathaniel come out and say that Edom is his enemies. He said that he wants to be friends with them. Okay, I still remember that. All right. This is the book of Matthew, and now we're going to change the focus on to what I intend to cover. Why I named this Your Rights, Your Right. You all right? Do away with all that Constitution talk, Jake. Remember, the Bill of Rights refers to you as 3/5 of a human. And that's a blessing, because we're not human. We're immortal. When this is said and done, we're going to be gods, okay? For eternity. This is Matthew 18 and verse 7. Woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must need be that offenses come. That's right. Okay, it's part of the story. But woe to that man by whom the offensive come. Now, who's been causing all the problems on this earth? Edom. And then doing what? Falsely accusing everybody, pointing his finger here, there. But when you point a finger, three are always pointing back at you. Okay? False accusers they are. We know this. All right? This is the book of Micah. Oh, and by the way, that red letter was Yahweh Shai speaking. Salakia. That came directly from Yahweh Shai. That this world must receive the offenses, but woe to him through whom the offenses come through. And we know that to be Edom. Okay? This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. They dream it. They dream it nonstop. Okay, it's in their heart, in their life. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. Once again, who runs this world? Who runs this world through finance? Who runs this world through his cruel decrees? Edom. Okay, and even these nations who you don't know have that you think have brown leaders, a lot of them leaders go back to Edom. Remember, this is not a color thing. We're not the black Hebrew Israelites. We're the Hebrew Israelites, and we come in all shades. Okay, all right, and so do they. That's my point. They come in all shades. Okay, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. And they covered fields. Are they not land thieves? What are they doing now? Genocide in Gaza, so they can have all of that territory that ultimately belongs to us, given to us by Yahweh Shai, by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, they covered fields and take them by violence, not through peace treaty. What did they do over here in United States of America when they came here and confronted my people, the Gadites, the northern tribes? Okay, all of the northern tribes. All right. They made fake treaties. They broke over 300 treaties, okay? And houses, and take them away, so that they oppress a man and his house, and a man and his heritage. That's all he has, okay? All that you have, they'll take from you. And believe me, furthermore, they'll take your life willingly, okay? This is the book of Psalms 64 and 8. So they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee. Okay? Shall flee away. I'm going to read that one more time because I'm going to give you the example. Psalms 64. So they shall make their own tongues. They're going to look, even though they be liars, they got to tell on themselves. Okay? Just like when they do the predictive, when they show you things in movies, okay? When they put the truth out here and there in the movie, all right? That's their way of the left hand telling on themselves, okay? Part of their rituals. So they make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Now let's give you an example. Fair use copyright, 107 fair use. This is not for sales purposes. This is strictly for educational purposes. So fair use. And pretty soon this is going out the door too. Here you go. Proof of.
For inciting riots. We took the freedom of speech away because that's been through the courts, and the court said you have freedom of speech. But what has happened is when they burn a flag, it agitates and irritates crowds. I've never seen anything like it on both.
In an announcement as dangerous as it was predictable, Trump came out today and said this.
We've made it 1 year penalty for inciting riots. We took the freedom of speech away because that's
And believe me, buddy, it ain't about no flag, okay? It is not about the flag. It's about the global takeover, okay? Remember Klaus Schwab's, you will eat the bugs and love them. You will own nothing and love them. So your rights, once again, I named this rights, yeah, right, okay? You could toss that out the window. Those days are over. All right. This is the book of Job 5 and 12. Now, this is a promise from Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right. This is what you have to have hope in and faith in. Okay. Not your monies, not your escape plan, not your Rick Ross doomsday bunker with the landing pad in there that you're gonna ultimately become your doomsday grave if you were make it down there, Rick Ross. He disappointed the devices of the crafty. Once again, who are the crafty? The head crafty is Edom. Okay, starting with the little hatters, the least of them, Amalek. Okay, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Now, what do they want their enterprise to be? The New World Order, ushered in by what? The MOTB. Revelations 13, starting at 16 down. Okay, that RIDF. Okay. Salakia. Okay, the microchip. All right, now I don't have to get all fancy with the microchip, the grain of rice that will be injected in your hand so that you can buy and sell. And without it, you can't. Okay, that's the ultimate enterprise that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has promised that he will disappoint. Okay. Okay, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. They meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday, as in the night. Okay, so once again, this is ongoing. Their plot to take over the world. Their plot to enslave all, not just you, Jacob, all. All right. And here we go. We got another example of this right here.
News story in the country. This was not a gaffe. This was not a glitch. Stephen Miller, one of Trump's closest aides, calmly declared on national television, CNN, that Donald Trump has plenary authority. And he realized what he had said. He went silent and froze. They went to a break, and when they came back, he gave the answer again with no mention of plenary authority. Now, most people don't necessarily know what this means. What this means is unlimited, unchecked power. This is the kind of power a king would have. This is the kind of...
You hear that? Unlimited, unchecked power. So the devil is moving forward. He is showing his veins, his fangs. He's showing those horns. Once again, Revelations 13. Okay. Okay. Revelations 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and that dragon goes into Draconian from Athens. And I've heard them bragging about this recently, about Rome and Anthems. Who you about to hear? Stephen Miller. All right, and also the ops. Gavin Newsom's supposed to be the ops. He said we live in the greatest Roman society today. Out of his own mouth, okay? So these people know who they are.
Power a dictator would have, not a president in a democracy. Let's check out the clip, and then we will talk about it.
Oregon legal insurrection. Does the administration still plan to abide by that ruling?
Well, the administration filed an appeal this morning with the Ninth Circuit. I would note the administration won an identical case in the Ninth Circuit just a few months ago with respect to the federalizing of the California National Guard. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority.
Stephen? Stephen? Hey, Stephen, can you hear me? It seemed, Stephen, I apologize. It seems like we're having a technical organ legal
We're having a technical issue, but there was no technical issue. That was not a freeze because of a bad connection. He was still blinking. We could hear him. Everybody could hear him.
So you're hearing ultimately right there that you don't have a president. You have a dictator, a king. And what did the scriptures say? The Lord will set up a cruel king over these people. All right. And he also said he will send fanners to fan this place. Those fanners are the foreigners, and they're here. They've been here. And no, it's not Jake. They used the foreigners from all over the world. Those men were coming in, lining up, all military age, no wives, no children. They got out. They came from various places and was asked where you come from. They told them, and they even gave the information. They're here. Gober troops, okay? So if these military won't shoot on the civilians, on their own people, those troops will. They have the plan. It's in motion. Okay.
Buddy. The more likely scenario is either Stephen Miller realized by himself, or there was someone off camera.
That wasn't an accident, by the way. That was one of those, once again, expose it, put it in your face and let you see it. All right.
Or somewhere near there going, no, 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 no. You just said the quiet part out loud. This was not a loud, unhinged rant from Stephen Miller. He did those during this interview. We'll get to those later. This was something that he didn't stumble across. That phrase, plenary.
Now, at this point, you've been warned continuously. Our people have been warned from the apostles, through the elders, through the Akim, putting in that work and sincerity. Is the warnings are going out daily, okay? But if you're not listening, if you think there's a other source of this information, or are you just sleeping, let me give this to you like this. This is Amos. Three and 7. Surely Yahweh Bashim Yahushai will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto the servants, the prophets, unto his servants, the prophets, his servants, the prophets, the men set up to sigh and cry for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay, to give you warning. And that's what we've done. We've continuously warned you, whether you hear or forbear. Now, we're going to stay in Amos. Okay? Because this is where we're headed, obviously. Eight and 11. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Allah, power, that I will send a famine in the land. Not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, of hearing the instructions. Meaning, what you heard Trump say, you don't have freedom of speech. That is going to affect all of us. It's going to be a time where the apostles will get that decree from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and tell the men, the smart, wise men, to shut it down. The men who listen, who follow instructions, okay? Then you will be left with your own mischief and your own, with false teachers and your own thoughts, okay? And listen what this says in 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and shall not find it. Okay? So this is the time to pay attention and take heed, because when that day comes, that day, we're already here, but that day you will definitely be in this time. Jeremiah 30, verse 6. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. You ever seen a pregnant man? Hell no. Hell no. You never have. Okay, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loin, holding that, guarding that stomach, holding that them vicious stomach pains, as a woman in travail, and all faces turned into paleness. What's that paleness? Fear. Okay? Fear like no other. You can't move. Locked up. Okay? Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it, none ever before. I was just watching Allison, the slave movie with Common in there. None is like it. Django, a couple days ago. None is like it. Okay, all that we've been through, all the torture, the pain, the hurt, none is like it. Okay, it is even the time of Jacob's trouble. You so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics. But guess what? It is the time of the whole world's trouble because this devil is coming down on his own head as well. Okay, but he shall be saved out of it. Who is he? The election, starting with the 144,000, the 12,000 of the 12 tribes. Also the 1/3, the men, women, and children, the 1/3 selected by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, they shall be saved out of it. Okay? This is the book of Proverbs 16 and 18. So you need to be taking heed because it's here. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Is this not a measurement of pride?
And then we will talk about it.
Oregon legal insurrection. Does the administration still plan to abide by that ruling?
Well, the administration filed an appeal this morning with the Ninth Circuit. I would note the administration won an identical case in the Ninth Circuit just a few months ago with respect to the federalizing of the California National Guard. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority.
Stephen?
Once again, this is not a freeze
Stephen?
up.
Hey, Stephen, can you hear me?
Esau mocking the world.
It seemed, Stephen, I apologize. It seems like we're having a technical Oregon legal.
Okay? So you see, this is a prideful man. We know that. Okay? This is 19. Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly. Okay? So all of that, all of the riches and all of the fats and spoils of this earth mean nothing. Okay? The elements shall burn. All of them. Then to divide the spoils with the proud. And once again, these are proud people. And we're going to end this off in the book of Obadiah. I pray that this has been edifying to the body. Obadiah, chapter 1, of course, starting at verse 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Allah, concerning Edom, them people, the people that say they white, but they're red. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. An ambassador is sit amongst the heathen. Who are them ambassadors? The men, once again, signing crying for Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, starting with the apostles of Great Millstone, okay? The elders of Great Millstone, like-minded men, okay, as well. And then your Akim, who teach in sincerity, okay? And those who learn to teach in sincerity, all right? The ambassador, all right? Is sent amongst the heathen. And that's what we doing. We waving our finger at them, telling them your days is numbered. Your day is numbered. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua has it all the way perfectly calculated. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small amongst the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Look around. For the first time, this devil starting here in spiritual Babylon, and then his companion, the little hatters, are being called out for what they are: genociders, murderers. Okay, people walking out on Ben Juyunat, Ben not a Jew, Ben Born Milkowski's speech. Okay, they don't even want to hear that shit, and it's gonna get physical because Second Esdras tells you that the dragons are going to come out. The dragons of Arabia, the same people who they poking right now, trying to set wars off against all of them. They're going to come together and they're going to, hey, this is going to get kicked off. And ultimately, we know we're headed to World War III. And we're waiting for the major prophecy, the MOTB, okay, to be made mandatory, okay? The pride of thy heart, once again, Stephen Miller and the crew, of thy heart thy lob have deceived thee. Thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock, their inhabitations to this very day, whose inhabitation is high, that saith in his heart and his mind, who shall bring me down to the ground? Who can do that? Who could possibly step to me? I am a god. Okay, I even replaced God, Michelangelo. Okay, I took Yahweh and a dark man with a fro and a beard, and I made him a fat man that looks like Santa Claus. Okay, and drew him naked. Okay, I turned Yahweh Shai, born Judah, so-called African American would have been, all right, with that fro and that beard, and we gave him stringy hair and turned him to Edom, okay, and used a ABC 1, 2, 3 to portray as your savior, all right. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, what's the mascot? What's the mascot? Okay, what do we say? Two feathers of a dirty, disgusting bird. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, these space stations, okay, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Oh yeah, and they just said they're planning their next moonwalk. They ain't do the first one. We're going to Hebrew hopscotch down for vocab, Haman Malone, to verse 6, Obadiah 1 and 6. How are thy things of Esau searched out? Well, the Lord gave us these devices. I'm using it right now. We get this information. We're no longer opening up a newspaper and only hearing his story. Now you see the receipts, okay? How are his hidden things sought up? Once again, that's why they're going to shut this platform down. But not before Yahweh Bashem Yahushua's work is done. Not before his word is out there. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border, and that's happening right now. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. Now remember, it says the whore that sets upon the beast shall make war with her. So he's pissing off his allies, everybody. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna start over at 7. All the men of thy confederacy that you're in cahoots with, Psalms 83, they all plotted against Jacob, against you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics. Read Psalms 83. Have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, even destroy the wise man out of Edom? Look at this clown, this orange clown that parades as the leader of the free world. This dementia having, orange bumbling buffoon clown, golf cheating, wife cheating clown. Okay, pedophile, kid touching clown. All right, kid selling clown. Shall not in that day, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, even destroy the wise man out of Edom, all of them, and understanding out of the Mount Esau, which is their government. Okay, so all of them. And thy mighty man, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the Mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. By forgiveness, by hugs, by talking, no, by slaughter. From who? That host. Didn't we read that earlier? Yahweh Shai is coming with the host, the army. Okay? For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Forever, ever, ever. So vocab, they are still here today causing hell and chaos. You cannot hide it. And you're one of them. And we're thankful to be able to expose you. Okay, so once again, this has been Your Rights, Yeah Right. The only right you have is to turn to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and repent and pray that you be forgiven for your sins. And with that, I pray that this was edifying. Shalom.